This is Portside Perspectives, exploring the yacht economy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Portside Perspectives. I'm here today with Michael Kamaritis, or how do you pronounce your last name again?
Kamaritis.
Kamaritis, that's right. I know you mentioned up on our last call, and I messed it up the first time, I think, too. So I apologize for that.
It's a difficult last name.
And Michael is the founder and CEO of Aqualux Yacht Management, as well as the founder and CEO of Poseidon Adventures, LLC. They're currently two separate companies, as you mentioned before we started recording here, but you're in the process of kind of merging the two. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So the idea is I started off in the marine industry with Poseidon Adventures, which is my yacht charter company. And it slowly transitioned into a bigger and more in-depth company than we thought it was going to be, hence the opening of Aqualux Yacht Management. But yeah, the goal is to eventually have both companies along with others under one corporation called Aqualux.
Right. So tell me a little bit about what Aqualux Yacht Management is all about then. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in the name, but tell me what you guys do.
So essentially, Aqualux Yacht Management started off as a boutique management company here in South Florida to cater to those owners that are interested in a stress-free experience when it comes to yachting. I started off with a charter company, like I said, and I went through, multiple management companies to take care of my vessels, and I just saw a lack in the industry of quality and good work that was being produced by companies. So one thing led to the other. We hired a couple full-time cleaners and some guys to help us take care of our charter vessels when they were in transition from one charter to another. And eventually we had our guys working, 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's when the most traffic was. And we had to make something sustainable and feasible out of it. And we went around our neighborhood asking our neighbors if they would like, someone to come out and clean their boat, manage it, take care of it. And eventually, when we picked up business in the neighborhood, we picked up like 12 boats in our neighborhood. We were like, wow, this is actually like a very feasible plan to make a solid company here in South Florida that gives out quality work. And not only quality work, we focus on timely work. So we're very big on, speedy response. So we're a 24/7 company. You call us and we're there.
Right. And so full service, what do you guys do as far as service? Top to bottom, front to back, bow to stern?
Yeah, we try to facilitate everything in-house. So I have a little bit of a mechanic background. I went to school for mechanical engineering and to become a pilot. And that's where I got more hands-on engines, piston engines, and stuff like that. So it kind of fueled the fire into learning about the marine industry. I left college and I had a complete career path switch, and it led me to making my passion into my work. I started working at a marina down here in South Florida, working as a corporate captain and, picking up as much extra work as I could. I helped fixing boats. I helped manage the marina at some point, and it just led into this, unexpected company that we're running today.
And so that was going to be one of my next questions, was kind of what's your origin story? Where did you come from, and how did you get into all this? And I think you roughly laid it out right there. Is there anything more beyond that, or that's pretty much the gist of it?
So I grew up on boats. My family always owned boats in the Mediterranean. That's where we're from. We're from Greece, so my father always had boats there, and we always had boats here in South Florida. And of course, any Greek father, if anybody's Greek in the audience, they know that Greek dads like saving money and having their kids do most of the work. So it got to the point that I was doing everything on our boats, servicing them, electrical work, mechanical work. I rebuilt 2 of the motors on one of our Sea Rays. So it just led into this passion that I had of fixing and maintaining our boats. Just, it was super intriguing to me. I never thought I would make a career out of it, but
here you are.
5 years later, here I am.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so Then tell me a little bit about the other company, Poseidon Adventures.
So Poseidon started off. My dad passed away my sophomore year of college, which is when I dropped out, moved down to South Florida, help out here at home, and I faced the option of selling my boats, chartering my boats, or keeping my boats and just keeping them for leisure. And selling them wasn't an option because I had this sentimental attachment to them. Keeping them just for my personal leisure wasn't an option because it wasn't feasible. I couldn't afford it. So I decided to start chartering them. And along the road, I was still working at the marina. I was doing captain work. I was working, I would say, 14 hours a day, whether it was office work, captaining work. I was always on the water. And on the weekends, I would run my charter company. I would take people out on my boats. I would take them around, run day charters, 4, 6, and 8 hour charters here in Miami. And in the process, I met my one of my closest friends and business partner, James, that bought a boat from the marina that I was working at. And coincidentally, he bought a house 500 feet away from my house. So it was just full circle moment. We were all like shocked and ecstatic that he lived 500 feet away from me. And we decided to go full scale, open a yacht charter company together, like market it, hire people under the company, and just see where we could take it. And charters during COVID here in Miami were huge. I mean, you were probably, if you had a decently priced boat fair to the market, you were getting at least 1 or 2 charters a day because everybody was at home. They weren't working. They weren't allowed to go out, so they were like, let's charter boats. And it was a huge market here in Miami. It still is. I mean, as long as you're priced competitively, you'll still get good traffic, but not as much as it was before. So we started that company. I mainly started it to cover my expenses on my end, and James wanted to cover his expenses on his end. And we started off with just our 4 boats, his boat, my 2 boats, and then one of our friends put their boat in as well. And then we grew that to a catalog of 15 boats that we knew the personal owners of. And we were, I don't like saying broker because we weren't a broker. We were more of a charter manager. We would manage and facilitate everything that went into the charter, facilitating insurance, captains, provisioning if the clients wanted to. And it all went through the third-party company, Poseidon Adventures. And then, like I said before, it transitioned into us realizing the quality of work that we were receiving from contractors that we had under the company just wasn't cutting it. We would get there and the boats, we would expect them to be detailed, clean, ready to go. And we would get there and there would be water spots everywhere. You could tell that, you just didn't wipe the boat correctly. You didn't wash all the surfaces. You could see that they were like trying to hide to save time on the cleaning aspect of the boat. So that's when we decided to bring on 2 full-time guys that now run all of our teams for cleaning.
And how big is the team now? Like with Aqualux and the yacht management company, how big is that company?
So in office, I have 5 guys. So it's myself, my business partner Anthony, my business partner Joshua, my business partner Alex, and my business partner James. So there's 5 partners in the company. Josh is our sales manager. Anthony is our service manager / service coordinator. I am the CEO. Alex is the CFO, and then James is more of an advisor and the serial investor into the company that made this all happen. And then on the street, we have six crews that clean boats. So our detailers are all out there every day. They do 2 boats a day. So all 3 teams. And then as far as the technical work, it's mostly Anthony and I that go out there. We don't really have much in-office work, right? We allocate like maybe 1 day a week to coming in here, figuring out everything, because we could always do everything on the road. We have our computers, we have our laptops, we just take them in the truck. But on the technical side, it's mostly Anthony and I. But I have a long list of contractors that I work with, that I've worked with in the past, that I've hired to do work on my boat that I'm comfortable with. So full time, we have 5. We have 11 employees, and then including all of the office workers. And then contracted partners, we have close to 25.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. And so are you, I mean, it might seem like a silly question, but are you looking to grow and expand both businesses and trying to get larger? Or I say it sounds silly, but some people as business owners are happy with what they're at, right? So, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the overall goal for everybody is to expand and, become big. We're in that phase of the company that we're expanding, we're wanting to expand, but we also don't want to over expand. A lot of companies that I see down here, they expand way too quick. So they get into the industry and it's a very, very populated industry down here on both sides, on the consumer and the provider end. It's a very populated industry. And you see companies that start off with very, very good quality work and they just bite off more than they can chew super, super fast. And they have to sacrifice the quality of work that they put out in order to facilitate, obviously, more clients and clients that they bring on. So I'm not really saying that we're not expanding, but we're always open to expanding. But the most important thing is keeping
in a controlled way, right? So that you can actually continue managing and providing the high level of service that you were spouting about earlier. And I get that. Sounds like though all your office people are out in the field all the time, but sooner or later you get a few more boats, you're not going to have time to do them all yourself. So
yeah, correct.
You're kind of at that threshold of hiring more people to do that sort of work. But like you said, you take pride in what you do. You want to make sure it's being done correctly, right?
Absolutely, and that's something that all the partners and I discussed, and we agreed upon. Is in the beginning, we're still a fairly new company. I mean, our doors have been open. Our first day that the LLC was filed was October 1st, and our first bill went out January 1st of 2025. So some people say we're more than a year old, and then some people say that we're less than a year old. But for the sake of conversation, we're just over a year into the company, and we have around 25 boats under management. So we discussed that it's important for myself and Anthony, which is more of the service and logistics side of the business, to learn it as best as we can and work in it as long as we can in order to properly train our future employees and our future partners, right? Because that's what it's all about, is passing on the torch to people that are going to understand and appreciate the job, and also passing on the properly lit torch, if you know what I mean. Right?
I do get that. So, I mean, now that we're speaking on the subject here right now, would you be open to, if someone was watching this, to come and contact you to they have a passion for it and wanted to take up that torch? Would you bring someone on, obviously, if they're the right fit?
Absolutely. We're always looking to bring new partners. I don't like calling we don't like calling our employees because they really aren't, because without them we wouldn't be able to survive as a company. So they're all partners to us, right?
That's a great mindset. You don't hear a lot of bosses and owners looking at things that way. I'm not everybody, but it's I'm happy to hear you say something like that,
Yeah.
because we've all probably have been at one point in our lives where we've had that one boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing that's I would say that we're most passionate about, is just making it. Yeah, work is work, and that professional relationship should be maintained, but work shouldn't be a place that you're feared. Like you
Right.
shouldn't fear going to work, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to embed that in everybody that joins the team, is that no need to worry. Yeah, we're taking care of these, very valuable assets, but at the end of the day, if something happens, you can't really do anything about it, right? We're insured, we're ready to take it on. We'll fix anything that goes wrong, and there's no reason to be afraid.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, kind of on that point, who is it that you're serving in the community in general? Or like, I mean, is it like smaller vessels, sailboats, motor yachts, kind of everything. Give me a sense of like who it is you actually serve within that community.
Yeah, so we typically our foot range, like we go by feet, just because like anybody that has like a massive boat, anybody that has 100, 110, 120
That's a
foot boat,
lot bigger scale cleaning and servicing of a, you need a much
correct.
bigger crew to deal with something like
Yeah,
that. I get that.
typically they have their full-time crew, right? They'll have their full-time captain, a full-time
Right.
steward that they're, if they're not live aboard, they're there 9 to 5 every day, making sure the boat's taken care of. So our market is from 40 feet to like 80 or 90 feet, right? Because that's the area that, you know, people don't want a full-time captain because it's just not worth it for them. But
Hmm.
they also want their boat maintained and taken care of. So their $1, $2, $3 million asset isn't deteriorating over time. And we
Right.
all know how depreciation on boats go. The more you let it go, the more it's going to depreciate.
Hmm. But at the same time, the more you take care of it, boats will. They're like airplanes. Airplanes get a lot of maintenance and they get taken care of. They last for forever if you take care of them and treat them the way that they should be
Yep.
treated. So, I mean, it goes both directions, right? I suppose that's
Yeah.
with anything, except for your car. That cars always seem to just break down over a certain amount of
Yeah.
time. There's a
Yeah.
lot more moving parts in those things, though. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. That gives me a bit of a sense of kind of, and mostly people's own their own personal boats or anything like that. Are you dealing with other charter companies at all? I mean, you said you started your charter company and you were looking for someone to supply this service, and when you made this company. So are you supplying this service to charter companies as well?
Yeah. So what we do is I don't like it's not that I don't like working with other charter companies. It's just difficult to manage and give out the quality and hospitality that we want when we're dealing with another charter company, just because
Because they're
some things
competition.
that they see, they might want more, volume, and we might not want to push more volume just because we're trying to maintain the quality of the hospitality that we give. So one thing that we do is our clients, we offer them a charter management package, right? So I have a lot of clients that leave for the off season, like the summer months. They go to Europe, they go up to New York, they just travel around. So they're both sitting here for 4, 5, 6 months not being used. So we offer
costing
that.
and costing them money, right?
Yeah, it's costing them a lot of money, and any boat owners is going to tell you the same thing. I mean, boats are going to cost you 5 to 10% of its value per year in maintenance if you're doing it correctly. In fuel, insurance, dockage, maintenance, servicing, it's 5 to 10% depending on the boat. So we offer that charter management package to them, stating, hey, when you're on the off season and you're not down here and you're traveling, we will manage the charters on your vessel, not to any client, but to the clients that we know. Because
Hmm.
even with our charter company, most of our clients are referred to us by other people, by friends, family. I mean, LinkedIn, people find us on LinkedIn, right? So it's more of a professional setting that we do charters, or like small group settings. So sunset cruises, date nights, proposals. It's not, we don't really like those party charters, right? It's more, doing that is a lot more wear and tear than just your casual couple that wants to go on a sunset cruise. But if one of our clients, they don't care, they're like, hey, listen, I just want my boat to make as much money as it can. I have a long list of brokers that I work with, that I've worked with in the past, that I'll gladly list their boat with them and I'll manage it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, as far as partnering with other charter companies, it's just difficult because you don't know what quality boat they're putting out, right? I like putting my name. My name is essentially on that charter vessel, and I like every charter vessel that I supply to be in tip-top shape.
Well, and that's fair. I mean, it sounds like you've kind of built your business around that um, high quality standards. And I kind of get that if you're dealing with another
Yeah,
charter company, you don't really have as much control over that. And you were right. You are putting your name on that.
yeah.
And I get that for sure.
It's also the fact on putting yourself in the client's shoes, right? And if you're going to spend X amount of money, what would you expect out of that day, right? So if I have a client that's spending anywhere from 5 to 10 grand for an 80-foot boat per day, if I was that client, I would want to get on the boat and I would want it to be spotless.
Mm-hmm.
That's just who I am, right? Because people work hard, and when they can go out and when they spend the money on it, I want it to be a good experience for them because I know how I would be.
Right. So, I mean, we talked about like your, desire to grow and expand, but at a reasonable rate. I'm sure you're taking on, new business as much as you can. Um, and you just mentioned, a lot of word of mouth and referrals and things like that. People kind of reach out on LinkedIn. What are some of your other marketing strategies, if any, that you're utilizing to kind of bring in new customers or replace ones that have moved on somewhere else, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're big on social media. It's a new day and age. Everybody's on social media. So, Instagram, Facebook, we do our posts there. We market them. We boost them with ad spend. But I'm going to be honest. Most of my marketing is myself, Anthony, and Josh going out on the street, going out to restaurants on the water, taking our boats out, right, and just talking to people, getting
Hmm.
out there, And it's that's the one thing that a lot of people get confused, that it's always about business. I've had more results just sitting down and having a conversation with somebody and just genuinely having a straightforward, just who are you? Where do you live? What do you do? Nice to meet you type of conversation. And it just leads into, oh, I have a boat. Oh, I can take care of that boat for you. I can
Hmm.
make sure that your boat is working all the time. Right. It's just being yourself and selling what you truly mean and what you truly want to sell. Right.
Everybody, more people I talk to on this podcast here, whether it's brokers or someone like yourself. I mean, the whole podcast has kind of found its legs moving into the what I'm calling the yacht economy and everything that is connected to the yacht industry. I literally did another recording earlier today with a fellow who is uh, his family is into making uniforms for crew and staff on the vessels, right? So, and the same thing with him. It's most of their marketing. It's face to face, one on one relationship building, and that sort of thing. And I'm finding across the whole yacht economy, that's just a running trend. It seems like a very personal thing to people, and they want to know that things. And it makes sense. I mean, these, like you said, these are expensive assets, and whether you're buying it or chartering it out or getting it serviced or whatever, I think people take a lot of pride in their vessel, and they want to know that they can trust the person that they're dealing with, right? So it makes sense that there's a lot of that one-on-one, face-to-face sort of relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And every one of my clients we have some sort of personal relationship with them, right? We obviously, as a company, we need a certain chain of command, but I make it known that every time we bring on a new client, Anthony is the point of contact for anything service. Josh is the main contact for anything on the sales side, but they have all of our numbers and it's all interlinked to the company phone number. So if one doesn't answer, it redirects to the other one. So that's what's important to us, is to maintain that personal relationship with our client, because at the end of the day, when you lose that personal relationship, you lose the ability to understand what that certain client needs and wants out of the company, what they expect, right? The minute you lose that point of communication, it gets very difficult to understand that um, people want different things, right? Not everybody's going to want the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a very open door policy when it comes to clients. They can call me whenever, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and I'll answer the phone.
Yeah, I mean, you did mention that you correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard you say that you do actually pay for ads. Was that on Facebook, or is that a Google thing, or both? What are you spending ad spend on?
Um, it's meta ad spend, so Instagram and Facebook. You just boost posts, $100 a month. You could just boost whatever post you want. I'm not really big into that though, because it,
It,
it brings traction, but it doesn't bring the traction that we want as a company, right? It'll
right,
it'll
and I can understand that because it's not really the right platform for a business like yours. It'd be
Correct.
more, Google would be a better way in my opinion, to spend ads on ads,
Yeah.
because it's more of a service-based company and people are looking, I need my boat service. Google, where do I find a yacht service company or yacht management company in the area that you're in on South Florida, right? So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that you're not getting the kind of clients or the traction that you necessarily want through those ads. It's kind of why I mean, that's a bit of my background here is marketing. I'm always interested to hear how businesses are actually doing things and what's working for them, because technology does change. I mean, we're in
Yeah.
the information
All the
age,
time.
right? So,
All the
all the time, and again, this always keeps coming up too. The advent of AI is now revolutionizing the way people are doing things on a whole nother level now too, and not just for marketing, it operationally within businesses as well, right?
Yeah. Believe it or not, the biggest way that I've been marketing right now and what's bringing me the most traction is LinkedIn. I push myself to add 50 to 100 people a day on LinkedIn in the industry, and not only adding them, but sending an introductory text. I mean, we met on LinkedIn and you beat me to the intro text. You texted me first, right? So it's all about just being comfortable talking to new people. That's all it is, right? And
Right.
our
And
company
it doesn't
has,
necessarily need to be face to face like you were saying before, but at least introducing yourself and getting into a conversation with somebody, whether that is on LinkedIn or wherever,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. And it's it's important to reciprocate the energy that someone puts out, right? So I have a referral program with the company. So essentially, if someone refers me a client, I give them 10% of the contract for the first 6 months. And that's something that, we discussed and we think is fair, because without them, we wouldn't have that client.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, and that's really cool that you're doing that for your clients like that. If someone were to refer, I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's only fair. It's only fair.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you're going about just your story about how this all started. Your sense of keeping things at a high level of quality, and even just chatting with you now about how you deal with bringing on new clients and trying to keep new existing clients, and what you just said there with your referral program. I mean, I think you're doing great in all the things that you're doing within this business. It's cool talking to you about it all. Really, it is.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
so, you know, obviously you're doing a lot of things right, as I just kind of mentioned. I'm impressed with how you're doing things within your business, but everybody's got challenges. What are some of your guys' biggest challenges that you're facing in these both in the charter business as well as yacht management?
So I would say our biggest challenge right now is the overall market. Just the consumers, there's not a lot of consumers right now. And the past 2 years, it's been a very difficult consumer market. There's just there's not there isn't the urgency to, spend money on anybody's side. But that's on the revenue side, which we don't we don't really focus on that. Our biggest challenge is, we worry about keeping our operations and our quality up. So I would say our biggest challenge is trying to juggle everything at once, especially being a new company. My business partner and I, Anthony, which are the operations side, we're fairly young. We're 22 and 24 years old. So gaining the trust from a lot of people to give, essentially their asset that they worked their whole life for, right? We're talking about a $5-6 million boat in the care of a 22 and a 24-year-old. It's not an easy thing to chew, right? Thinking that someone that young is going to take care of your vessel and make sure
Yeah,
it's tip top.
yeah. I, I
That's one of
can,
our biggest challenges right there.
yeah. Um, I guess I could see that. I suppose I never really thought about it like that, but I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can understand that. That might be a bit of a hurdle for you guys to jump over. But it sounds like you continue to do great work, and you get referrals and things like that. You've built authority in the business that you're in, and I mean, it seems like you guys are doing really well. Um, Yeah, I mean, are you noticing the same sort of trend in the chartering end of things too, as far as you're struggling to build that business in what it is?
So chartering it's a completely different business. I mean, you'll always have traction. It's like I said, it's all about pricing right, right? Giving people a competitive price that they're going to feel that it's worth paying that amount of money for that experience. I would say the challenging part about charters is, you know, the client mostly. Keeping your clients, happy, making sure that your clients aren't going to get on, your asset and destroy it, right? So it's a completely different part of the industry because now you're getting more in depth into the hospitality side of things. And anybody that's worked in hospitality knows that it's a very difficult industry to be in because it's purely customer based, making people happy, which we always
Mhm.
try to do, but sometimes it's difficult. Like there's certain laws that prevent us from making things happen for some of our clients, and it's a little bit of a letdown, but safety is number one priority when it comes to this stuff, and
Mhm.
we have to keep that in mind all the time. So it's kind of challenging to keep a balance on that and making sure that you can provide the level of service while keeping safety in mind, the law in mind, and making sure the customer's happy because, people get crazy out on the water.
And just through this conversation, it sounds that you are reasonably um, selective of who you even bring onto these charters, right? Like you said, you're not really into having these big party charters, and you kind of focus on a bit more of a calmer niche. Is that kind of
Yeah,
accurate?
that's correct because I don't like saying that we charter. We sell an experience, right? So all of our boats, none of our personal boats are at a marina, first of all. None of them are at a commercial marina that you're going to walk through a yard, you're going to walk through a parking lot, and you're going to have to walk half a mile to get to the vessel. All of our boats are at our personal properties. So behind our homes. So essentially letting our customers to our boat, we're letting our customers in our home and we walk them through the house. They're welcome to stay. We always have beverages. We always have snacks in the house, ready for them because, again, it's not a charter, it's an experience. It's giving someone the yachting lifestyle experience in Miami. So it's it's difficult to say no, but sometimes it's more beneficial to say no to certain clients than it is to accept certain clients, right? It's just weighing the risk of what could happen on the boat. And, I
Right.
like to keep everything clean and professional and safe. At the end of the day, it's safety for everybody.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's cool. I mean, I'm sure anybody listening to this that is looking for an experience like that is happy to hear you say something like that. They're not being treated just like another number or another paycheck. You're actually, having relationship with these people and making an experience, like you said, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I'm as I talk to you more and more, I keep getting more and more impressed, and I'm kind of glad that we hooked up and we're able to have this conversation, and um, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to bring up as far as the two businesses that you're running, other than you said you're going to be trying to you're going to be merging them both into just one entity here. So
Yeah.
currently, though, it is Poseidon Adventures for anybody who wants to look into the charter aspect of what you're doing, and then anybody who's an owner of a vessel who needs or wants management or service, it's Aqualux. But they will both be merged under the Aqualux name very soon. Is that right?
Correct. So we're trying to cater to all aspects of the market. And when I say that, it's mostly for our clients, right? So my idea is to transform Aqualux into something that you're going to purchase a boat and you will never talk to anybody else to make it simpler, more simple for the client, right? So we want to expand into the sales side of the business, open a brokerage.
That was
So
going to be my next question. Was are you looking at getting into starting a brokerage and expanding into sales, because you're building this community and this network of boat owners who sooner or later are probably going to want to upgrade, downgrade, whatever, right? And then they're going to need to buy or sell a vessel down the line, and you're kind of positioned in a very unique and profitable place to become a brokerage, right?
Yeah. So it's mostly not the hunger to sell a big quantity of boats. It's mostly trying to provide that quality of work that I said in all aspects of the industry, right? So a client's going to go out and purchase a boat. They're going to purchase it from, let's say, Aqualux Yacht Sales, correct? And then from Aqualux Yacht Sales, in-house we'll have a warranty program, quote unquote, build into the price of the boat that will cover you on your management plan for the first year, right? So you purchase the boat and you can opt into a management warranty plan that will give you a year of management. So you can test the waters and see if we're compatible, right? Or we could do a 3 to 6 month plan, all dependent on the client. And after that time period is the deciding factor. Hey, I'm going to stick with these guys. Hey, I'm going to, explore other aspects of the industry, find somebody else. It's all preference to the client, right? But the main idea is to take care of the same client start to finish and keep that revolving circle going. So they purchase a boat.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the same team.
Purchase a boat and walk me through the process.
So they purchase a boat. The same team that sold them the boat is going to service it, maintain it, make sure it holds as best value as it can. And then eventually, what does everybody want when they sell their boat or any asset? They want the most money that they can get out of it, right? So we'll have all their records from the day of purchase to the day of sale with all the dates that services were completed, every part that was replaced. Everything will be in a Google file that we have that comes with the boat to its next owner, right? So it's essentially just a peace of mind for the buyer and the eventual sell and purchase of the boat again, right? So it's kind of like I'm at a loss of words for it, but it's kind of like a recurring thing, right? So we're trying to those same 100%.
Boats. And you didn't mention it, but a big part of it as well is the charter thing too. You are also now bringing on potential new vessels and owners that can tap into chartering their vessel out to help pay for that vessel at the same time, right? So it's a kind of a full circle business from the life of not just the life of the vessel, but the life of the buyer, like the owner of that vessel. You're creating a relationship that is likely going to be a lifelong friendship even, right? Because you're dealing with these people from the time they buy it to helping them pay for it through a charter potentially to servicing this asset that they have spent a lot of money on and care a lot about, and dealing with them on a very, very regular basis all the way through to when they decide to sell that vessel. You're helping them get best value that they can for it, and it makes sense as a business model, and that's the reason why I was going to ask you about it, but you beat me to it, and it just seems like the natural progression. It seems like from the beginning, Dan, when you started this business, it's just grown in natural ways into the next thing, and a brokerage does make sense into the next thing from where you are now.
It's all fallen into place by itself, honestly. Like if you ask any of us if we projected that we would be where we're at today in this industry, all of us would say no. I mean, I would have never expected to be this far into the industry this soon. I always planned on doing something, but it all flowed naturally, and it all stemmed from the charters. And the biggest thing is when one of our clients, let's say their boat is out for service, even myself, when my boat's out for service, just the subconscious knowing that the boat isn't there makes me want to go out on the boat more, right? So that's something else that we're trying to implement is what's the one thing that you don't get when your boat goes into service? A loaner. It's not like a car. You're not going to go and service your boat and they're not going to give you a boat, to take home.
Right.
That's something that we can provide for our clients and say, hey, listen, we know your boat's out for this amount of time, but for a small fee, you guys could take one of our boats out.
Right. That's pretty cool.
We'll provide the captain. We employ the captain. Yeah. You guys go have fun. Sorry that your boat's not available right now for whatever reason, but you have access to our portfolio of boats that you can use at your at your leisure. The only
Yeah.
thing we ask is to cover expenses. That's it.
Yeah, it's been cool talking to you, learning about the journey and how this business has kind of started to where it is and where it's going to go. And um, you know, I really do appreciate you taking the time and chatting with me today. It's been a good conversation. I've had fun here. One last question. It's kind of a fun one. I pretty much ask of everybody. It's kind of a two-part. What's your favorite location to sail or go boating to? Or if that's too complex, even just a favorite place to travel to. And then the second part would be, is there a vessel that you've owned or been on or seen that it just kind of sticks out in your mind and sticks with you as maybe not your favorite, or just something that, it could have been a personal boat or a family boat that has a place in your heart for memories, or something that you've seen and it just blew your mind how big and beautiful and crazy it was. So I'll let you answer that kind of however you.
Yeah. So I would say my favorite destination for boating in general. It's kind of hard to, at least for me, to put a specific point, but I'm going to be honest with you, going to the Sandbar and just kicking back and relaxing with my business partners, my family, and just watching everybody have fun and all of us having fun together. I think that's, what I enjoy the most, at least when it comes to yachting and boating. But if I were to put a destination on it, the Exumas in the Bahamas, that is like surreal boating. Like
Mhm.
the reefs, the wildlife, the waters. I don't think you can get something as beautiful or nearly as beautiful to that, especially this close to Florida, right? It's
Right.
Some people say it's far, it's kind of far, but
Yeah,
it's
it
crazy to
is.
think about. You
Yeah.
can, yeah, you
I've
can
been
get
there, and
on
I,
your boat.
I, I took a sailboat across from Miami to the Exumas on a week long scuba diving trip. Actually, it
Yeah,
was we spent the week diving 3-4 times a day and bouncing all around the islands in there, and not just the islands, but the trip across to get there.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about. You can be in one of the busiest cities in the world. And, with our boat in, an hour and 20 minutes, I'm in Bimini from our house. It's
Hmm.
crazy to think that you could just hop on your boat and you're at the Bahamas. You're in the
Hmm.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Um, and then second part of the question, a boat. So I'm gonna give you two answers,
All
right?
right.
My personal boat right now, I have a Lures 32 tournament. It's a 1993 that it's gotten a lot of love from us. It's been in the family for years. My uncle owned it before we owned it. And that boat has been rebuilt probably 4 times. Repowered, refit, refinished, repainted. It's just that boat that, it keeps on giving, but at the end of the day, the price tag doesn't matter because of the sentimental value it gives. I mean, we've been through crazy storms on that boat, on a 32-foot boat, and it's brought us home every time safe. So I would say sentimentally, that is the boat that you know does it for me, and it's just something that I'll always remember as long as I live. And then if I were to pick any boat to purchase, any boat that price wasn't an issue, I would 100% get an 82-foot Viking.
If
Those
price
are
wasn't an issue.
Yeah, if price wasn't an issue, which
Yeah.
right now, $15 million on a boat or $10 million on a boat, I think we're a couple decades away from that, but that would be the one boat that I would stick with for life if I had to.
Cool. Well, again, Michael, it's been awesome talking with you, and I was really neat listening to the journey that you've taken in this business, and how well you're doing for yourself and your partners as well. Um, and you just real quick, the socials people can find you on. Obviously, you can go to is it Aqualux? What's the actual website? I don't see it in front of me here right now.
The actual website, so all our domains are Aqualux Yacht. So that's AQUALUX yacht.com, or all of our Instagram and social media handles are the same thing. That's where you can find us. And then Poseidon Adventures, I mean, we have a small little Instagram for it. It's called Miami.yacht.experience. You can contact us on there anywhere, or you know, my phone number is all over the, the website, and our company phone numbers there. So we're available 24/7.
All right, cool. Thanks again for spending time with me and chatting with me and kind of sharing your story. Like I said, I had a great time chatting with you, and it's been nice to meet you as well. And maybe we'll talk again in the future here sometime, and we can come back and maybe chat about the brokerage that you're starting, right?
Absolutely. I had a great time. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for sailing with us. This has been Portside Perspectives.